1905 in St Petersburg, the printers there decided they wanted to be paid the same for punctuation as they were paid for letters. So they went on strike, and the strike led to other strikes, and that led to the Russian Revolution, and the whole of the history of the 20th century was changed, possibly on a semicolon.
Taking the teaching challenge today is a former sports writer and celebrated Radio 4 dramatist. Lynne Truss caused her own revolution with a little book about punctuation called Eats, Shoots and Leaves, which has become a worldwide bestseller. Lynne herself has become the unlikely leader of the movement to put punctuation back in its proper place.
It was a real personal project, really, and I expected, if anything, there would only be a few people would sort of really think I was stupid for doing it and I'd earn no money, and that would be the end of it. So it was great. Suddenly everyone was interested in what I was interested in, and that was very vindicating, because, you know, I spent my whole life being a bit of a nerd, you know, who has a minority interest. So it's rather nice.
But in an informal world of emailing and texting, will the pupils of Davison High School in Worthing share Lynne's zeal for punctuation? Year 11's English teacher is Ruth Nielsen.
Today we're going to be looking at punctuation, and we're going to be looking at this because tomorrow, as you know, we're going to have a guest who's going to be teaching you, who is an expert in punctuation. So we're going to start off by looking at the importance of punctuating your writing effectively. There's lots of characters in the class, that's for definite. They're a really, really bright bunch and are really quite confident at speaking their mind. So I think that's a nice way for a class to be, not scared to speak out. I think they're quite excited about meeting her, but I don't think they've really got any idea of what kind of character she's going to be. So I'm hoping that she's got a good sense of humour, because the girls are quite controversial. They do quite like to speak out, and they'll probably tell her that they don't think punctuation is necessary. So I'd like her to prove them wrong.
The school prepare for Lynne's arrival by resurrecting an old overhead projector at her request. There'll be no interactive whiteboarding during this lesson.
It will be interesting if she's never actually taught children before, young adults, see how she copes with us asking awkward questions.
I think a good teacher needs to be assertive, but also kind of fair and not too patronising.
I would advise Lynne Truss not to patronise us in the class, because we do understand what she's probably trying to tell us.
Can't be pushy with us. We're natural. We'd rather take things our own way, but I'm sure she'll be fine.
I'm terrified of classrooms, actually. I think it's like going to a prison or something, you know, you just don't know the rules, really, and you feel that and I think when young people laugh at you for the wrong reason, that's the most scathing thing there is, and I suppose I try to avoid that in life. So actually going in deliberately to talk to some people who might think, who's she? Why is she telling us this? You know, that seems to me very, very foolhardy.
Before risking getting big laughs for all the wrong reasons, teacher and novice get confessional.
So what are you planning on doing with the class today?
I thought it could be quite organic.
Okay.
Since I haven't prepared very much. and I'm very much hoping the girls will ask me lots of questions to get things going, because I have no teaching skills at all.
Oh, I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure that some things will come naturally to you. And the girls are really chatty, so you don't need to worry about that. They're very, very bright, which some people might find a little bit intimidating, but they are lovely as well. Is there a learning objective?
That's probably how you do teaching, isn't it? Yeah. You set yourself an objective.
What would you like them to know by the end?
I didn't have a learning objective. I think if you tell me what I should have as an objective, that would really help me.
I think maybe children today are a little bit lazy in their punctuation. So even if your objective was to make them more confident in knowing where to put punctuation by the end of the lesson, then that would be something that you could feel that you'd achieved perhaps by the end.
Okay. I'm really quite scared, I have to say. It's not something I've done very much, and I always think they're judging you. Do they judge you a great deal?
To be honest with you, yes, I suppose they do judge you. But it can be the most simple things, from what you're wearing to what colour you've decided to dye your hair to the way in which you phrase things. But the girls, they're quite understanding, I think. They've got a quite nice way. So if they see that you're nervous, I think they'll be quite good at making you feel comfortable. Perhaps in a way that boys might not. Boys might then play on that and maybe try to undermine you. But I think, no, they'll try to make you feel quite comfortable. So don't be scared of them. I think that's important. So can I ask you a bit more then about how you're gonna start your lesson?
Oh dear. Well, Not having a plan, I thought I would just start by showing them some examples of things that can be punctuated either way.
Yeah.
And talk about those, and then see what develops.
Okay.
That's as far as I got.